I don't buy for a minute that he's going to prison without getting out of here somewhere and stashing $2 billion or whatever. I think he has that kind of power, meaning Sean himself. But remember, it goes a lot deeper than that.
You know, there's a short life in
why do you think that is, what the creative side is?
Well, because losing out money, you got to take drugs. You're going through so much to try and deal with life.
Sean Diddy Combs, once a towering figure in the music and entertainment industry, now finds himself shackled not only by the weight of legal accusations, but also by the crushing betrayal of the one person he likely believed would never falter, his own mother, Janice Combs. The courtroom has become more than a battleground for his innocence. It is now a stage where the unraveling threads of family loyalty, power, and scandal are laid bare for the world to scrutinize. As if the stakes weren't already astronomical, shocking revelations about Janice herself have transformed.
Now, the interesting thing about the Epstein and the theory about Epstein is we know he filmed people for sure on that island. He has a lot of movies, a lot of films of people that are very, very powerful political figures, and entertainers, business people. So, do you really believe that Jeffrey Epstein himself? And
of course not.
Of course not.
Inside the Manhattan courtroom, the air is thick with tension. Federal prosecutors, emboldened by mounting testimony and evidence, are painting a portrait of a man spiraling into a vortex of control and excess. Diddy faces a slew of charges, ranging from conspiracy to coercion, and the prosecution isn't holding back. They're determined to expose years of alleged misconduct, bolstering their case with chilling anecdotes and the damning accounts of accusers. Yet despite their efforts, the absence of a key witness, referred to only as Victim 3, leaves a glaring gap in the case. It's a thorny issue that Diddy's defense team is quick to exploit, arguing that the missing testimony raises more questions than it answers. Where is she, and why won't she testify? One of Diddy's attorneys asked pointedly, shifting, though, courtroom scrutiny back onto the government's narrative. But this isn't just a trial about facts and evidence. The emotional undercurrents are impossible to ignore, especially when Diddy himself appears before the court, not to testify, but simply to sit and endure the world's judgment. His nervous energy is palpable. He fidgets, occasionally leans in to whisper to his lawyers, and at one point, even apologizes to the judge for requesting a brief pause. "I'm sorry, Your Honor," he mutters, his voice barely audible. "I'm a little nervous today."
Did you ever spend time with the guy? Did you ever meet Diddy?
I've met him before, yeah.
How was he?
Very nice guy, very smart, super business. You know, I mean, he's very successful.
The most devastating blow, however, didn't come from the prosecutors or the media frenzy. It came from Janice Combs herself. Once Diddy's fiercest defender, Janice has now taken a step back, or perhaps even a step against him. In a series of statements released through her attorney, she expressed a mix of heartbreak and ambiguous support. "My son is not perfect," she admitted, a phrase that landed like a thunderclap amid the chaos of the trial. She acknowledged his past struggles and mistakes, even referencing incidents of aggression that had long been whispered about but rarely confirmed. "Like every human being, my son deserves his day in court," she added, her words carefully treading the line between maternal instinct and public accountability. But what stunned many wasn't her restrained defense. It was the subtle way she seemed to distance herself, as if bracing for the worst. For years, Janice had been a central figure in Diddy's story, the rock-solid matriarch who stood by his side at music awards, business launches, and personal milestones. This was the same woman he once described as his superhero, the one he credited for instilling the relentless work ethic that fueled his rise to fame. She was there when he gifted her lavish presents, including a luxury car and a 7-figure check for her 80th birthday.
Sorry.
No, I get it. So you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head.
And then there are the darker whispers surrounding Janice Combs herself. For years, she was celebrated as the proud mother of a music mogul, but recent allegations have cast her in a far more troubling light. In a lawsuit filed by Kirk Burroughs, the co-founder of Bad Boy Entertainment, Janice is accused of orchestrating a scheme to strip Burroughs of his stake in the label. According to Burroughs, in 1996, Diddy stormed into his office wielding a baseball bat and forced him to sign away his shares under duress. Those shares, Burroughs claims, were later transferred to Janice, who allegedly played a behind-the-scenes role in the takeover. While Janice was not physically present during the alleged confrontation, Burroughs insists she was the mastermind, quietly pulling the strings to consolidate power within the Combs family.